Hey, what's up you guys? I'm Caitlin from Leave Me Alone Plants, and today we have a very different video. As the title may have indicated, and our scenery may have given away if you didn't read the title, today we're going to be creating houseplant inspired cocktails. Now, if you're new to my channel, typically we talk about plant care and the overall struggles of what it's like having lots of houseplants in your house. However, one of my friends recently gifted me The Drunken Botanist by Amy Stewart, which is a book that goes into the history of how plants shape cocktails. Super interesting, highly recommend it. I'll put a link for it down in the bio below. But anyway, it got me thinking. I love houseplants and I love cocktails, so how can we mix the two together? So I started looking around my house and took inspiration from 3 plants that we're going to make cocktails based off of. And so if you're ready to learn some new recipes and you're ready to get a little tipsy, then keep on watching and we're gonna get into it right now. Okay, welcome back. So we are here with our very first plant, and this is my Opuntia Old Mexico, better known as a prickly pear. And the first drink that we're gonna be creating today, inspired by this plant, is going to be a prickly pear margarita. Now, if you come here to Arizona, these drinks are in every bar. You cannot go to a bar without finding a prickly pear margarita on the menu. And I'm not gonna lie, I've always loved margaritas, but these are one of my all-time favorites. Now, it probably is worth stating before we get started, I am in no way like a mixologist of any sorts. I'm just somebody who enjoys a good cocktail, and by a good cocktail, I mean like multiple cocktails. Okay, not like an excessive amount of cocktails, but like a healthy amount of cocktails. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, with that disclaimer out of the way, let's get started. So the first step, which is of course 100% optional, but in my opinion, the thing that really makes a margarita magical is going to be salting your rim. Now, I know some people like sugar on their margarita rims. Personally, I think that those people have something wrong with them, but hey, that's just me. So I already cut up my lime, but what I do is, I cut off the little ends of them and I use these to just go around the rim of my glass so that my salt has something to stick to. And then I buy this margarita salt because I like to make a lot of margaritas, but if you have like a coarse sea salt or something like that, you can certainly use that. Obviously, like a flakier salt is going to be better and more along the lines of those traditional salts you'll have on a margarita. Now, I know some people like to get a little crazy and put all kinds of other stuff on there like chili powders and tahinis, but today we are just going to stick with salt. We got a little messy around the edge, so let's just clean this guy up, but our glass otherwise is good to go. Well, people have a lot of different ways of making margaritas, but personally for me, I like to keep it simple. So let's get out our handy dandy little shaker, and the first thing that I like to start with are my limes. Now again, I cut my limes like this. I actually recently learned this on a TikTok hack, and I used to just cut them in half, but cutting off the additional end lets you get so much extra lime juice out of the limes when you're squeezing them in your juicer. So pro tip, cut them that way and your lime will go farther. Now I'm putting a full lime in here. Some people don't like their margaritas that sour. Personally, I am obsessed with sour stuff, so I go in for the whole shebang. From here, of course, we're going to take none other than our tequila. Unfortunately, I did not prepare super well for this video, and as you may be able to see, we're almost out of tequila, which is a situation. So normally where I would go in with 2 ounces of this, I'm just going to go in with the remainder of our tequila, which I'd say is realistically just shy of an ounce, but what you can do in this scenario, if you're in the predicament like myself and you run out of tequila to put in your margarita, you can actually go in with some triple sec. Now I know some bars will actually put like orange juice in their margaritas. Personally, I'm just like not overall a big fan of oranges, so I don't love when my margaritas have orange juice in them, but another option there, particularly if you're somebody who doesn't like super strong drinks. I know like my mom, anytime I make her a drink, she's like, please don't put that much alcohol in it. So, you know, depending on what you're looking for in a margarita, you can kind of go one way or the other with what you're subbing in and subbing out, or, you know, just go for the full shebang and just put in all the tequila that you want. Finally, of course, we're putting our prickly pear twist on this, and unfortunately, prickly pears right now are out of season. However, I think that this is, you know, probably a good thing that they're out of season here. Normally we can get them, but I know for a lot of you who don't live in Arizona, they're not always super easy to come by. So what I actually have here is this prickly pear syrup. It's by the company Cactus Candy. So I know that they sell a ton of their products on Amazon. So I have no doubt that you should be able to buy this online if you are really looking to make these and you don't have prickly pears available by yourself. Now, normally if I was just making like a standard regular old margarita, I personally would go in with just some plain old simple syrup. I know some people like to do sweet and sour, but I've never had this one in particular, so I don't know how sweet it is. Let's find out. Okay, so I'd say that this is about the sweetness of a honey, so I'm gonna go in here with just a bit and let's see how it turns out. And now it's time for the best part. Give your margarita a nice little shake. And now time for the pour over. Now, surprisingly, this prickly pear syrup was not as red as I was anticipating. In theory, you could go in with like a pink food dye. I don't have any right now. So what I'm going to get is some grenadine just to color this up a little bit. Now, this is a last minute decision just because I think that we eat with our eyes first. And listen, I'm feeling a red margarita, okay? We'll just give this guy a little stir, stir, stir. And there we go. This is our prickly pear margarita. Now it's a little weaker than I normally like my margaritas just because we were running out of the tail end of tequila, but I'm definitely picking up some of that prickly pear flavor. It's very sweet, very refreshing without being too overbearing. So if you're looking for a fun twist on your standard margarita, this is the one for you. Okay, you guys, the next drink that we have up is going to be inspired by my watermelon peperomia. If you've never seen one of these, it's pretty obvious where it gets its name from. Its leaves looks like little tiny watermelons, and you even have red stems to really emphasize the typical watermelon color. This is a super fun plant, and in my opinion, it is one of the easiest peperomias to grow. Highly, highly recommend it. Today's watermelon peperomia inspired drink, we're going to be making a watermelon jalapeno pepper mojito. Now, I'll be starting out with a Collins glass. That's what I like to put mine in, but you know, you can roll with whatever you have on hand. I forgot to mention that our prickly pear margarita actually was in the cactus glass that we got from the thrift store. So if you haven't checked out that video yet, I'll put it up here. Anyway, get your shaker back out, clean it out if you followed along with our first recipe. And when I make mojitos of any type, I like to start out with all my salads and muddle them together. So I already cut up some watermelon chunks. You can just throw those right in the bottom here. I'm just throwing a small handful in there. You don't have to get crazy. We're gonna do the same with the jalapeno. Now, I've been eating these jalapenos all week and they're super spicy, so I don't wanna get carried away with it. I'm just gonna throw in a little piece at the end. Don't mind me not using a cutting board. We're just rolling with it here. And then finally, I'm gonna go in with half of a lime. Personally, for my mojitos, I don't like these drinks to be super sour. I like them to just be a little more light and refreshing. So unlike my margaritas that I like a little more on the sour side, we're just gonna take it easy on this one and go in with that. Also, I know some people like to throw the whole lime into your shaker and muddle it in there, but let some of those oils from the rind get into there and kind of acts as like a natural bitter. Personally, I don't like super bitter drinks, so I'm just going to go in and muddle what we have in there. Now, I definitely recommend putting in your lime juice with what you want to muddle. It's really going to help just kind of mix and meld all those flavors together. Now I have my mint plant here, which I guess technically could have been our real plant that we base this drink off of, but hey, we're gonna mix it up and start with the watermelon peperomia. So anyway, I'm gonna throw a little bit of this in here after I muddled it up. I don't like to muddle my mint in there just because I find that it kind of bruises the leaves up, and yeah, but don't worry, we will be minting it up plenty afterwards. Finally, I'm gonna go in with 2 ounces of gin. I like Bombay, but feel free to use whatever you want, and we totally just spilled some. Also, I realized as I was pouring this that I can't do a count in my head and also talk at the same time, so hopefully that was about 2 ounces. If you're a bartender, don't come for me. And we're gonna give it a little shake. Okay, finally, we're gonna put some ice in our glass. Now when I'm putting my ice in for mojitos, I kind of like to layer in my little toppings in here. So we're just gonna pop some watermelon in there as well as some mint leaves. I love a super minty mojito. To me, the mint is the best part, although I will say I don't like when I get a mojito and it has like the mint broken down into little chunks, particularly if they give you a straw, because then I'm like sucking it up and it's just not pleasant for anyone. Okay, we got our glass filled all up, and this guy this time actually looks like he's turning out quite pink, which is just what the doctor ordered. Now that we've got that in there, we're just going to top it off with our club soda. I can never open these without it going everywhere, for the love of God. Okay, there we go. All right, as I said, just finish this off with a nice club soda. I like to give it a little stir just to mix all those flavors in there together. Pop that guy back in there. Of course, we will finish it off with a straw. This is our watermelon pepperoni inspired mojito. Let's give it a taste. This one came out super, super good. This is probably gonna sound weird, but to me, this drink tastes the way that a garden smells. There's just the right amount of spice that you're picking up from that jalapeno, and you're getting the sweetness from the watermelon. It is really, really good. It kind of tastes the way that like a tomato vine smells, if you know what that smells like. But either way, I'm really digging this drink. Very refreshing. This would be awesome on a hot summer day. Definitely my front runner drink so far. Our last drink of the day is inspired none other than my goldfish plant. Now hopefully it will pick up on camera, but my goldfish plant is actually in bloom right now, and of course, if you can see it, it gets its characteristic name from these beautiful orange flowers that it gets that happen to look like goldfish. Now if you have a dark soul like myself, this plant also happens to come in the black version where the leaves are all black, and personally I find these plants so easy to care for. So the drink that we're going to be making that is inspired by this plant today, of course, is none other than a fishbowl. Now Mom, if you're watching, stop listening, but if you ever underage drink, then you've probably had a fishbowl, unless that's just something that I did. I'm not sure. Anyway, let's set this guy aside and get started. So one caveat to this recipe that we're making today, unfortunately, I don't have any like fish bowls laying around. So we're going to be making a mini version in just this standard glass that I have here, which honestly is probably for the best side because we've already made 2 drinks tonight and I've got a lot of drinking to do. So we're gonna start out with the base for our fishbowl, which are going to be nerds, and that is going to be the gravel in there. So I've had these nerds sitting in my pantry for like years now. Hopefully they haven't gone bad, but you know, no time like the present to use these guys up. Nerds still to this day are like one of my favorite candies of all time. Honestly, I'm not that big into like chocolates or things like that, but I love sour candy, I love gummy candy, and I love Nerds. Okay. I put 4 packets in there just to give us a little base. I think that that will be good for now. So again, typically when people make these, they're making them in like pitcher size batches. I'll put a list of measurements for how you'll make that size here, but I'm kind of just gonna eyeball it today for this tiny little glass. So first, we're gonna start out with our tried and true, some vodka. I just got some Absolute. This is like the special America edition, which I'm digging. So let's go in with some of that. And that vodka is just gonna let those nerds marinate nice and good in there. The next thing that we're gonna be going in with is some Malibu. Now, if you've never had Malibu, it's kind of just like a coconut-y flavored rum. Personally, I'm not super crazy about like coconut or coconut flavored things, but I actually do like Malibu. And if you're a little nervous to just like try straight Malibu if you don't like coconut, they actually have a ton of other flavors of it now. I know they have like a passion fruit and a pineapple one, but today I just have the standard one. So I'm not gonna go crazy with this one, but we're gonna put in just a little less than equal parts to our vodka. Oh yeah, I can see those nerds dissolving real good in there. Next up, I got us some sweet and sour. I actually don't even have this open. Traditionally, I don't use sweet and sour in a ton of drinks that I make. Honestly, I typically prefer kind of like lighter drinks, more like Moscow Mules and Mojitos are more my speed, but I'm not gonna lie, this smells super good and we're just going to go in with some of this. One critical step I forgot is some ice, so let's grab some of that. Okay, now that we got that squared away, we're gonna come behind this with some lemon lime soda. Personally, I have some Sprites out here because, you know, we're trying to keep it lean tonight with all this other stuff, so yeah. Again, depending on how strong or weak you like your drinks, will kind of adjust how much of this that you go in with. And of course, this is like cute little bubbles for our drink. And then finally, no fishbowl style drink would be complete, or really any tropical drink would be complete without some blue curacao. If you've never had blue curacao, which I could tell you a whole long story about this, but It's gonna be pretty similar to a triple sec, just kind of an orange flavored liqueur, but of course it's blue in color, so it's going to make this really, really pretty. And I'm just gonna pour it in until we can kind of achieve like a turquoise-ish green color, which it looks like. Let's just go a little more. So let's give that a quick stir. Looking very, very tropical, you guys. Okay, now of course we have to go in with our fish because this is the Goldfish Bowl. And coincidentally, I was actually able to get these assorted Swedish fish, which they have orange ones in there. So this is absolutely perfect. So we'll just dunk these little goldfish in there. Maybe we'll throw one yellow guy in there for good measure. Okay, finally, these last steps are optional, but at my local grocery store, they had these edible flowers there, and I just felt like this was the perfect video to include these in. So I have this little orange one, and we're just going to place him on top. And finally, just to take this drink to the next level, we're gonna go in with one of our little umbrellas. And of course we had to get an orange one. Friends, is the Goldfish Fish Bowl, inspired by our goldfish plant. And that is our third and final drink. So let's give it a try, you guys, and see how it stacks up to the others. Oh, you guys, this one is really good and it reminds me of a younger time in my life. Yeah, I could definitely drink a full one of these. So good. So if you're somebody who maybe is newer to cocktails and you don't like super alcoholic tasting drinks, let me tell you, this is the drink for you. Okay, you guys, well, I know this was a really different video today. I don't know about you, but I had a ton of fun making it. Hopefully you guys had a good time watching it. If you like this video, let me know in the comments down below and we can certainly do a part 2 to this video. And if you didn't like it, no worries, we'll be getting back to our normal scheduled content in the next video. Thanks so much for sticking around until the end. If you haven't already, don't forget to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, drop me some green hearts in the comment section down below, and I hope to see you guys in the next video.